Welcome to this Talks at Google virtual event. I'm Brandon Boone, and I'm on the YouTube team at Google. As you think of questions throughout this conversation, please be sure to add them to the live chat on the right of your screen. Now, I'm very excited to get a chance to introduce today's guests. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with none other than Warrick Dunn. For those that don't know, Warrick was drafted number 12 in the first round of the 1997 NFL draft. Warrick's time in the NFL is absolutely legendary. In addition to being an all-pro running back, he was also the Walter Payton Award winner before it was in vogue to actually be involved in the community. He did a lot of that on his own. Today, Warrick is a limited partner with the Atlanta Falcons, and most importantly, he's the founder of the Warrick Dunn Charities, which some of you may have heard of before. But before we get started, I have to congratulate Warrick on the tremendous impact he's had throughout his entire life so far, and that's just a little bit. You set such an extraordinary example for many people around the world, inclusive of myself. Your journey has hardly seemed real. It's like a fairy tale written out of like a book from James Baldwin. But let's get started. I kind of want to get into like what it was like when you very first got into the league, and like ultimately try to figure out like what were you expecting when you first got drafted?
Well, listen. I wasn't expecting to be drafted so late. I thought I would go a little bit earlier in the first round, but I wanted to go to Tampa, and I was a fan of Coach Dungy. But at the same time, I wanted to come in and have a big impact on the football team. I knew that they were looking for a running back, so I just felt like I could be that guy that would come in and make plays. I didn't realize that I didn't know that I would have the rookie year that I had. Well, I was really, I really helped us move forward as an organization, as a football team. So I was delighted that I was able to come in and have some impact on the football field, but also do some things in the community.
Yeah. Speaking of the community stuff, was that something that was big on your mind once you actually got drafted, or was that something that was kind of placed like a bug in your ear, or like in a meeting or something like that once you were actually on the team?
Well, honestly, I can tell you, I didn't think about community service. I didn't think about any of that stuff. That wasn't my focus. The one thing I learned early on is that I need to learn how to be a pro. And I relied on a lot of veterans for their leadership on what did they do to, learn the game, become the ultimate pro. And I relied on a lot of veterans for that information. And the way I got started in the community was because of Coach Dungy. When he challenged all the rookies about getting involved and giving back, I think that just lit a fire underneath me. And not knowing what I really wanted to do, I had to take a little time to think about it, and I just thought about my mom. And ever since then, it's just been a part of who I am and the impact I would like to make in the communities moving forward.
Yeah. So you mentioned your mom. And it's something that I know very well personally, but for those that are listening that maybe don't know, it might be good for them to hear just a little bit about your background and why your mom plays such a big role in you choosing to kind of have such a philanthropic aspect of your life, not only in the league, but then also after you were out of the league.
Well, I was a senior in high school, 18 years old. I just turned 18 years old, 2 days before my mom. She was a Baton Rouge City police officer that was gunned down in line of duty. So she was ambushed making a routine night deposit at a bank, and she was in the car with a grocery store manager. They were making a deposit. Two guys opened fire on a police car. She was in a police car, her police uniform. So that moment, I was forced to just grow up. I wasn't thinking about going to Florida State. I wasn't thinking about any of those things. I was just really more focused on my family when this incident happened. And from that, the community really rallied around us as a family, and they helped support us. But being the oldest of six, I knew what my mom wanted. I knew what her dreams were. I knew the things that she aspired for her kids. She wanted to have stable housing. She wanted a place that we can call home, and not being able to provide that for us, I know that hurt her. She only made $36,000 raising 6 kids. And when you're also taking care of her mothers, helping her mother out and helping her sister out, other individuals, it's not a lot that you can do. And living in apartments and so forth, we didn't have a stable environment. So I knew that was her dream. And this all just came together when I went to Tampa, and Coach Dungy set us all in the at One Buccaneer place. It was the old school One Buccaneer place. We were all in a locker room, and we just had a meeting about getting involved and giving back, being part of the community. And I thought about, my mom and what she wanted, and the things that she wanted in life. And I just thought of it as, hey, what if we tried to do this and do that? And Stephanie Weiler, who was with the Buccaneers at that time, community relations, helped me put the plan together, and we did 3 homes that first Tuesday, Thanksgiving.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was a success. So we did 3 homes, and I can tell you then I still had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I wrote the check myself. I paid for all these homes, wrote the check. I handed the keys over, and I was just like, okay, why are you going crazy? I mean, I'm just helping you get a home. I didn't appreciate it, didn't really understand it. And I just think over the years, you start to grow and understand and realize the impact that you can make. And I've just evolved, and now I just understand more about family issues, stability, the kids. And it's not necessarily about the parents anymore. It's really a focus on how can I help the kids create a better environment for them, a better future for them.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't underscore your impact that you've had. And one of the questions that I have is, with all the knowledge that you have today and all the things that you've been able to accomplish, if you were able to get into like a time machine and actually go back to that meeting where you were like, well, what if we did this, and you were able to keep all the knowledge that you have now, like would there be anything that you would do differently or more of during that early stages of buying those homes?
Well, I would have implemented the programs that we have today. We've just evolved. Once you start to talk with families more, you start to understand the things that they're dealing with and how we can assist as an organization. And if I can go back, I would have tried to implement more of the financial literacy, health, and wellness pieces that we have as an organization, because it's vital. Can we teach kids financial responsibility? Not when they're in high school, but let's start off in elementary school. Kids are much more intuitive. They want to know, they learn, they have access to money. Why not help them manage it early on? But also, and that's the Charities Count on Your Future program, where now we really try to incentivize families to start saving money, right? So we would match a family up to $500. If they start a savings account, we would give them $500 to match them. So, and they would have access to a financial advisor. So that program would have been impactful, in 1997, 98, 99, because now you would have started building a nest egg and understanding financial responsibility. But then when you think about child obesity, health issues in this country, I thought about when I was growing up, not having food in the cabinets, just putting stuff in a pot, cooking it, and figuring out, okay, this is our meal for today. I mean, some of the same issues that kids were dealing with, what I was dealing with as a kid, other kids are dealing with those same issues. So, we have a program now, Scope, where we try to healthy food initiative, where we try to educate families on quick and healthy meals. And then we've even gotten to the point where it's not about just helping them understand that you can use coupons to buy stuff, but grow your, build and grow your own, vegetable garden, right? Grow your own food in your backyard. And we're trying to incentivize individuals to do more of that so they can have healthy meals and things that they like to eat. And now that the charity also, we have a scholarship program called Hearts for Community Service, where we really try to incentivize and help individuals that are giving back, but also need help with financial assistance while they're in school. So we've just grown. I wish I would have had these programs back in the late 90s, just because I think it would have assisted and helped a lot of people move forward.
Yeah, and I can feel the energy, from you just even virtually right now. Like, and it's amazing to watch and to feel. You mentioned something early on in that comment about financial literacy, and one of the questions that I have, as someone who also was the product of a single mom and had to learn financial literacy on my own by maxing out a credit card and then taking almost 5 years to pay it off. Like, where did you learn how to, like financial literacy for yourself, and then be able to like share it with other people?
Well, it really goes back to being the oldest of six. I had a lot of responsibility early on in life. And I mean, I was having adult conversations when I was 14 years old. So I really had to understand, financially, the things that we needed and the things that we wanted as a family. And once my mom passed, I tried to manage the money. The city of Baton Rouge, they started a fund for us. People donated. So that's how we were able to pay bills for all those years. And I made sure we spent the money on need, not necessarily things that we wanted. And, today I say, if you spend your money on need, you may not be great at managing dollars, but you're going to save more than you lose, because when you're spending on things that you need to live and you're still living a good life, things are going to be okay. You can always save up for that nest egg and save up for that rainy day, so that you never know what happens. So I try to educate people. What are the things that you need to live a good life? We all have wants. Do you really need the expensive bag, the fancy car? All these things are, those are things that you want. Go with the things that you really need to move forward and take care of your family.
That's such a critical message today in today's society, because it's so easy to kind of attach yourself to the things that you want. And sometimes even, reach out for the things you want and not get the things that you actually need. And so the more that message gets spread around and people actually hear that, I think that that's truly an amazing thing. Next question I have is, like, as someone who's literally like dedicated their entire life to improving the lives of others, like, what do you think was so special about 2020 that seemingly pushed everything forward, from like a societal and racial perspective?
Well, if you just think about the history of this country, slavery, just what individuals have gone through, over the years, of all the convictions of Black individuals, men of color over the years have dealt with the prison system and so forth. When now you have video that really changed the perception and gave people a clear view of, wow, maybe some guys in the past have been innocent as well. It's been, their word against, someone else. And most time people are going to believe the white guy who said this person did it. But now when you have video that has just proven certain acts, I think that was the culmination of a reckoning, just an awakening of this whole country, realizing that, Black men are being targeted in a sense, but also are not getting fair treatment. And I just think that has really opened up people to, understanding, the racial issues in the country, but also now understanding diversity when we talk about businesses and giving people opportunity and equity in our society. That, it's been a struggle a lot for Americans, Black Americans, brown Americans. It's like, how can we help everyone and not just help that 1% at the top? So for me, it's all about, we all need a fair opportunity, to do our part, to fair, a seat at the table, so that we can all benefit from our hard work and our commitment and sacrifices that we make every day for not just our country, but for our families. And I just think 2020 was an awakening. It woke everyone up, and we still have to continue to press the button and raise these concerns and issues on things that we see that are not right. Right? I was raised to treat the next person the way that I want to be treated. I try to treat everybody I meet the way that I want them to treat me. I try to respect them in that way, and that's what my mom taught me. That's what we need to be as a country. And another thing I would say is that, growing up, it wasn't just your parents raising you. It was a community, right? It's a community effort. We have to care for one another, love on each other, but also support each other, because we're not all going to make, sound decisions. But when we fall down, you got to have a team of people that have your back, that's going to help you get up and going to push you to get back on your feet to move forward. We have to assist each other. And I think, 2020, I think, brought more eyes and more expectation on that, but it's given us opportunity now that we can replan ourselves and actually figure out ways and solutions to move forward and support each other. long term.
Yeah, and I bring that up because I mean, in addition to being an All-Pro and a former Walter Payton Man of the Year, a huge charity, advocate, and also like someone who's raised a ton of money and also given away houses, I ultimately see you as someone as like a community builder, and someone who's actually like building the community of tomorrow, or the one that we wish we had today. And I think it's so important for everyone to understand kind of like the relationship between what's happening in the street, what's also happening in the home. And I feel that you have a very strong perspective and also actions that are related to both. And so on that topic, one of the things that I'd like to ask is like, yesterday there was some breaking news about, Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. Also didn't know if you want to touch on that, because I do believe that the houses that you are helping people get are often going to folks who are at risk, and I think helping them instill some sort of confidence and in themselves about their history is important. So I'd love to get your kind of like your perspective on that.
Well, let me just say, when I found out that that they passed the bill that Juneteenth is a national holiday, it's about time. I mean, if we really talk about this country and our history, I just felt like, it's what really took them this long, but it took 2020 to happen. And so I think that is really woken people up. If you think about a lot of people in this country, the issues that we all deal with, what we see day to day. I mean, you have families that are just struggling, and housing creates stability, right? And for me, when you say, hey, I'm about families, yeah, I'm about building healthy communities, right? Healthy individuals, healthy families. You have healthy communities. You have people that are more engaged in society, that want to be good, citizens, right? Who want to be good people, and they just need assistance, direction. Like, we don't give anything, nothing is for free. People earn the assistance that the organization gives them, Warrick Dunn Charities gives them. And, we need more organizations. We need more assistance from corporations, business partners, community leaders let's assist each other. Sometimes you have to hold someone's hand. And the thing is, I learned this in 2020 from one of my own recipients. It's like, how can you hold me accountable when I don't know? So for us, that tells me we have to educate people. People need education, right? In different fields, not just financial literacy, but just everyday living of how you do this and how you do that, and things that I can do to better my life, my situation, and my family's life. If we can assist them with that, it's still their requirement to do their part. Don't give anything to anybody. We all have to earn and work for it, but we can assist them and push them and hold their hand down the road until they're able to gain their own balance, their own footing, and become really good citizens. So we need that assistance. But it's Juneteenth, it's taking, forever, it seems like, to recognize that, slavery officially ended, even though it was 2 years after Abraham officially ended it, right? And so, things happen. Sometimes it just takes time to move forward. We're finally there now that they recognize that this is an important holiday, because just the history of this country is not a great history for Black Americans. But at the same time, we need to move forward and become one, because we all have to love and care about each other.
Yeah, and I think that's 100% spot on. You mentioned something earlier in the comment there that I want to go back to, which was people earning, what they get. And I think that there is a misconception potentially that's out there about how you help people get homes. I wonder if you would spend a little bit of time talking about how what the application process is, or how they get to that point, and then actually what happens when people get a home.
Well, I'm happy you said that, because most people think Warrick Dunn just gives homes. We give homes away, and we don't do that. I don't believe in that. I wasn't given anything. I've had to work for it. That's what I would require from anyone, that we all work for it. And what we do is we partner with entities like a Habitat for Humanity. We mainly work with Habitat for the last few years. and they have a first time homeownership buying program. A lot of families go and they apply for this program. They have to make sure that they clean up their credit, but with Habitat, they also have to work on building their home. So they on the weekends they're part of the build. What we do is we come in and is that it. I'm gonna take a step back and tell you this is what my mom issue was, right? This is the biggest reason we can now go. We help families by giving them additional money on their down payment assistance, right? So we usually give them $5,000, but we also said, well, my mom would have had issues of trying to fill the home. So we go in and put food, furniture, linens, garden tools, TVs, computers, all the way down to the toothbrush. We try to help every family get to the point where now all they have to do is bring their clothes. And we do that because a lot of times when you become a homeowner, you have to now go out and buy more furniture. You have to go and spend all this money that you don't have. You go right back into debt. We want people to have a true, fresh start to home ownership. And, I need people to understand that Warrick Dunn Charities, we don't give anything away. They have a mortgage. They've earned it. We're helping them start their journey of home ownership. But what we're going to do at the charities, we're going to be with them through their journey of home ownership. So when they need us, we're going to be there to help support them and push them forward.
All right. So as we get into the second half of this, I actually want to talk to the audience a little bit. If you guys have questions, please make sure to send them in on the right side of your screen. I think we have a very good guest here. And so I think there's lots for us to talk about. Anyway, getting back to where we were before, talking a little bit about, community and housing, people earning their way. What do you think right now is like the biggest impediment to people actually being able to get what they need? Is it a societal thing, or is it a government thing? Or what's your perspective when you actually go about actually creating programs to help people?
Well, what I've learned is that a lot of things come down to public policy, right? We have to have some public policy that could help individuals. And the thing is, government subsidies, I don't want families to stay on government subsidies, at all, but you do need to help people get on their feet. But public policy could really help, be a game changer for a lot of families, a lot of communities. And there's kind of over 30 million Americans who are living in impoverished areas, food insecurities. I mean, public policy is the way to go. And that's the only way you can really create long-term positive change, really changing outcomes, because you're investing money in communities. These individuals and communities now can learn, educate themselves, and now live better lives. That's hopefully much more productive lives, and they're much more engaged in their community and society.
Yeah, and I think that is exactly the case. One of the things that you've talked about in other forums is this concept of having people having the opportunity to build generational wealth, and home ownership being like kind of center to that. But help explain that a little bit more.
Well, if you just think about the quickest way in this country to build wealth is through home ownership. That's why owning a home is important, but owning a home, you can't just stop there. You have to understand how you manage your dollars, have a maintenance cost per month and that's setting, for me, I would say that's setting money aside, because things happen, things break. You have to repair things. So you have to really budget. But when you think about passing things down from generation to generation to generation, you can start building wealth, property values go up, in your different communities. That's how you pass down that wealth to individuals. But we have to educate ourselves. We have to inspire our kids not to say, well, I want to drive a Phantom, I want Louis, Gucci. They can wear nice clothes. They don't have to be the most expensive things. You can still enjoy nice things and have nice adventures, because I do believe that when you can create experiences for kids, they get to see, outside of their 5-block radius, they get to see a different world. They get to experience different things. And now mentally, they're thinking about wow, I get opportunity. If I do this, I can do this, I can do that. Now you're expanding their minds, and you're getting them to be much more creative and engaged, that they want to be more than what they see around in their community. So that only helps a family to not just with generational wealth, but what you're doing is you're helping each other build wealth, because now when someone's successful, you bring in other people along with you, teaching them, educating them. So we have to, wrap our arms around each other and bring each other along. And you have some people that want to learn, teach them, educate them. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to learn from those mistakes and now continue to move forward. No one's perfect, and we have to remember that. But to really build generational wealth, it starts with home ownership. But when we're successful, we have to go back and pull along all our other ones and just say, hey, we're here to help you, but you have to do your part.
And that's great. And speaking of home ownership through the eyes of your foundation, it's my understanding that you guys have built 190 homes, which is just astonishing. To think about the impact that's had on 190 families. And you have a goal to reach 200 by the Super Bowl. Is that correct?
Yes. So we just did 190 yesterday in Pinellas Park, Florida. It was Amanda, the mom, she was so emotional. She was shaking. She knew who I was. She was a Bucks fan, but it was just great to see that life-changing moment when you hand the keys over to that parent, that family, those kids walk through the front door, and then they walk through their rooms and they see all of this is theirs. They worked for it. They deserve it. Now the work really starts when everyone leaves, and now they have to live every day. For me, that's what it's all about. It's about having impact, life-changing moments like that. And, we've helped 190 single parents. We've helped 4 of those 190 are single fathers as well. We want to help single parents. It's not just about single moms, but we have a 92% success rate of families that are in their home. They sold their home and bought another home. So we have people that have created stability, that are doing all the right things, and that sometimes all they need is just a little help. Habitat has been a great partner. I know definitely in Pinellas County, Pasco County, they are great partners for us there in the Tampa Bay area. And I'm just thankful for all the partners that we have had across the country over the years, and we've worked with some CDCs as well. So, it's really about, helping individuals continue their journey of home ownership, but also helping them be good people and good citizens. And 190 is just the start. We're, like Coach Dunn just said, we're almost 24, 25 years into this, and I'm just so thankful. And I never imagined in years that I would still be doing this years after playing football. So I'm gonna keep going, and we're trying to get to 200. I mean, that's the goal, but that's just a goal that we're trying to set because we want to help more individuals, help more families, get to more states, more cities, so that we can impact and help more people. So 200 is the next milestone, but we're going to continue to go after that. That's the goal.
So speaking of that, like, how do people help? How can people join in? I'm ready. If I need to come out to Florida and help build the homes themselves, I'm ready. I'm ready to do that. If there's something specific people need to do, please let us know.
Well, I would tell you we're actually in 14 states, 24 markets. Well, I may get that. I may maybe 25 markets. I may get in trouble by my ED, but we're not just in the southeast. I mean, we've been to Topeka, Kansas. We went to Des Moines, Iowa recently. So we will come. We was in Phoenix, Arizona. We will come to your area, support. You can go to wdc.org just to learn more about the organization, what we do, and you can donate there. You can learn more. And plus now we also have a fundraiser that we're doing June 25th. It's called Wine, Dine, and Cigars. And, we're going to have a blackjack room. We're going to have a trivia room. We're going to have cigars through Davidoff's. I got ex-NFL players. We're going to do some tricks. I mean, it's just going to be a really fun time. I got a lot of guys that are going to participate. Malcolm Jenkins, Gary Sheffield, Baron Davis. I have Neo and Terrell Owens. They're 81 Wines. I mean, thank him. I have to thank T.O. and his company for being our wine sponsors. So we have a lot of guys to kill spikes. We have a lot of individuals that are going to participate take part in this because they understand what we do in the community. They understand the impact that we make, but they just want to see us continue to grow and be able to spread our love and help more people. So please go to wdc.org. You can donate there. Learn more about the organization. Please support us, or get family, friends just to come on board. Hey, you want us to come to your city? We'll make it happen.
That's amazing, and I'm smiling so big as I actually remember, or the pictures that were scrolling across. Like I said, I was a product of a single mom, and all we ever really wanted was a home that we owned. We were definitely the family that moved lease to lease to lease, or basically every 12 to 14 months we were moving. And so the sheer excitement and just shock of being able to say this is your home and you don't have to move in 12 months would have been life-changing for me. So I can only imagine what those people feel in that moment. 190 homes, that is just unreal.
But if that's what I say, if you think about it, the kids though, right? So the kids, they have more stability, they're much more confident, they perform better in school, they're much more engaged in their community. It's just it's better for them, stability. And when you are a homeowner, you have an opportunity to have better health overall. Kids are much more healthy, and I think healthy mind, healthy body, healthy community, and that's really what we're trying to build with the charity.
Yep, and I guess there's another side to that actually I wanted to get into actually is as people who grew up in tough times, tough periods. I'm guessing a part of you is also stronger because of that. There's a perseverance probably that you got from not only your mother's situation, but then being a student athlete. That's hard. What's your thoughts on your upbringing and how that specifically is kind of like giving you like the fuel to be able to move forward in these journeys?
Well, I would say losing my mom, it created a lot of adversity for me. But growing up, years before my mom's death, you grew up in a tough, impoverished, environment. And believe it or not, I told this story before, is that we were actually living in a house with my grandmother and my grandfather. My mom's police car is outside, and we were still robbed with the police car outside. I mean, that tells you how bad the neighborhood was. But that didn't stop me from wanting to work harder, be much more committed. Being part of that commitment is making sacrifice. I learned that through sports, teamwork. You can't do it by yourself. And that's how I tried to really, gather my brothers and sisters. After my mom passed, it wasn't just Warrick making decisions. I relied on my grandmother and my other brothers and sisters, the older ones. We all assisted and helped each other. And the thing is, you can't say I can do it all on my own, right? We all need support. We all need assistance. We all need help. But you have to have that determination, that commitment to push through it, right? And I would tell you the biggest thing that I've learned throughout the years is that, in 2003, I started going to counseling because I had no idea that I was depressed, that I was dealing with a lot emotionally. And that changed my life. So that tells me that, I can't be afraid to do things that's going to make me a better person overall, much more engaged individual. And counseling has really saved me, changed my life, and helped me be much more open. I talk more, laugh more, I'm just much more engaged, but I'm not afraid to say, hey, you know what? I need help. We have individuals in our communities that are afraid to ask for help. Counseling is a benefit to you. It's not a hindrance, right? It's not something that's going to hold you down. You have to do those things that's going to make you a better individual, a better person. And if that's counseling, that's working out, is that just doing the little things. And the one thing I would tell any kid today, right? If you're training this or that, what are you going to do to be great? What are you going to sacrifice, give up to get to the next level, to go farther in life? What are you going to do? We all have to sacrifice and give something up and make some concessions on things. I challenge kids all the time. What are you going to do to be great? I gave up a lot to get where I'm at, but I also went out and seeked help, and I went to counseling, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid of my journey and who I am. And I think that just makes me a better overall person because now I can share my experience and hopefully help other people.
I will say that counseling is something that it should be destigmatized. You should look at it as maintenance on yourself. I don't know a person who probably wouldn't benefit from going and talking to someone about something that's happened in their life, especially people who come from single family parenthoods. So I commend you from A, not running away from it, and B, being strong enough to actually talk about it out in the open. Thank you for that, for sure.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's a journey. It's a journey.
Yes, absolutely. I think we have some questions
Okay.
from the audience that we can get into. The first one that we have here it says, is there a current running back in the league that you believe matches your style?
Well, the league is different today. Let me just tell you. I mean, I wish I was playing this league. Man, I could probably make a lot of guys miss. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of a lot of guys, obviously, but Alvin Kamara, I like his game. I mean, he's just real versatile, and I just think if I had opportunity to catch the ball as much as he did as he does out of the backfield and does things he do, I could be a exciting player. McCaffrey, bigger guy, but agile, elusive. I mean, so those are just a few guys, but I'm a fan of all the running backs. They all bring a different skill set. So, but Alvin is one of the first guys that I think of.
That's exactly who I thought of when the question, I was like, Alvin Kamara, Louisiana. I was lucky enough. I worked for the Eagles for a period of time. I was lucky enough to be on the field to actually watch him live. I could just imagine just the electricity that you would bring, something very similar to that on the football field. So that's exactly the comparison I would be. I think we got a couple more questions as well.
Okay.
See what pops up. Says, this one's from Zachary Thomas. Who are the other ex-athletes that are doing a great job building up communities we should keep an eye on? Love seeing this.
Wow. I think, I would say there are guys doing a lot of great things in their community. Not everyone is doing what I'm doing. I think I tell guys, figure out what you're passionate about. So it's hard for me to really name one guy. But, it's a lot of guys who are just doing a lot of great work across this country. And I don't think athletes get the recognition or they're saluted enough for giving back, taking time out of their schedule to actually go get involved in their community. But I salute those guys. And, that's a sacrifice that we all have to make. I've made it. And I know other guys are doing the same thing. But there's a lot of guys doing a lot of great things. It's hard to name just one.
Yeah, there are a lot. You mentioned one earlier that I know close is Malcolm Jenkins. His work in the community is specifically in the Philadelphia area has just been unmatched. So I think that there's a lot there. Some other questions that I have about your background, in particular, your relationship with your brothers and sisters. As someone who was the oldest going through this, you not only had to play football and teach them, but you also had to be their brother. How has that progressed over time? I'm pretty sure that they are better for it as having someone like Warrick Dunn be their older brother.
Well, it's pluses and minuses to everything, right? But when I was in Tampa, definitely my second year, the youngest three came to live with me. Just imagine I'm playing professional football. I'm going to PTA meetings. That's why Coach Dungy's wife, Lauren, helped me. She went to meetings with me. I mean, I was cooking dinner. I was making sure they did homework. At one point I was dropping them off at school and picking them up. I mean, I'm trying to go to practice and all those things. I had to go and buy a car for my brother, the oldest brother, youngest brother, to drive the kids to school. So, that was a challenge, but I really just tried not just to be their big brother. I felt like I was more their father, right? And someone that they can rely on, that I'm going to try to give them the guidance that I thought they needed. I didn't have all the answers. And what I did when I didn't have all the answers, I went to other adults, other men they've already been there and done that. I asked for advice. I took their advice and I tried to apply it to the best way that I knew how. So I just took their advice and I came up with my own solutions. And I went and talked with my brothers and sisters about, hey, this is what I think you guys should do. And, the thing is, I tell you, I didn't do it alone. I had assistants. And the two older ones with me, Summer and Derek, I mean, we all relied on each other to help really raise the younger ones because they didn't have the same opportunity and time that we had with our moms. So we wanted to give them a piece of, who they missed out on. So we helped each other, and it wasn't just me. I can't take all the credit, but we all are close knit today. We still talk. We take family trips. We do family calls. I mean, we're still close knit. And what I've learned is family is everything. When you lose your mom at 18 years old, my responsibility was my 5 brothers and sisters, and that's what it's been all about. So today I would say family is everything, and I'm never going to let that cloud my judgment on it. If I choose my family over something else, family comes first, everything else is going to adjust because they're going to always be there with me.
That's such amazing to hear. Like it's family is everything, and the closer you can keep them with you, the more you're going to be on the straight and narrow. That they will keep you honest for sure. They're the folks that know you, like the real you.
Oh yeah, but we get into it. We don't always agree. I mean, we're brothers and sisters, right? We get on each other's nerves. We still argue and fight. We do everything brothers and sisters do. But the thing is, no matter how I feel about anybody, mistakes they make, I'm always be there for them. I'm never going to turn my back on them. I'm gonna accept them with open arms, and that's what you have to do, because not everybody's going to make the right decisions and those things. People make mistakes, and I'm human. I made mistakes, and all you can do is say, I'm sorry. Can we just move forward? And as a family, we have to always keep that open mind and accept each other for who we are and make those adjustments. So I think we've done a good job of really loving each other when we don't like each other at times.
Yes, I can only imagine. We got a few more questions. I'm interested to see what they are. Let's see what this one is. This one's from Mel Offman Rodriguez. Hi, Warrick. Thanks for the talk today. What advice would you give your younger self when you look back on all the things that you've accomplished? Great question.
Wow, that's a tough one right there. You know what? I would go back and say, because I was so hard, I didn't talk, I wasn't enjoying the moment early on in my career. And if I can go back to my younger self, sometimes you really have to enjoy the moment, right? Enjoy that time that you have. And it wasn't until I started going to counseling until I really started laughing and enjoying life and football. And if I can go back, definitely my early days in Tampa, is that I wouldn't have been so focused. I would have hung out with teammates, just really enjoyed the moment that I had at that time, because those are memories that it would last you a lifetime. You go back and you talk to your teammates about that. Those are things that if I can go back and do it all over again, I would probably do that, and not be crazy, but you try to really go and enjoy, just where I was at. Enjoy, hey, I'm a rookie playing football your rookie year, hang out, just do rookie things and enjoy it, so that now I get that out of my system. Or go back and enjoy college. You got to think, I went to Florida State. I didn't go out. I didn't hang out. I didn't drink. I was just like football, school, family, or it was really family, school, football. And that's what it was all about. I wish I could go back and really take it all in and enjoy the moment and not let the moment pass me by.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's lost sometimes. There's a lot of student athletes, specifically in college, that don't get a chance to really, there's so much going on. And I have heard, as an ex-athlete myself, it takes a while for you to look back and say, I wish I just could have been in the moment at that time. So that, I think that is absolutely a very good answer to that one. I think we got a few more. Okay. Next question from Avery. With all the many families that you have blessed, is there one happy moment that you can think of that has really stood out?
Well, I would tell you my rookie year, it's one of the first 3 families. And, what stands out is that this lady, I think it was the second home that we did on that first Tuesday, she picked me up and she squeezed me. I would remember that forever. I was so small and frail back then that she took the wind out of me. Because she was so excited that we helped her with a home, handed her the keys, and she just jumped up and joyed when she walked inside. She squeezed me, took all the wind out of me. That right there, I would never, ever forget. Right. And I can tell you, I built relationships over the years with different recipients, and it's always good to come back and see those guys and really just see their growth and how they've taken, what we've done as an organization and really just move forward. And I'm just so thankful that I've been able to have those relationships. But that 1997, even though it was just a program then, I mean, that I still remember the wind getting taken out of me, squeezing me. So that would always be my one of my favorite moments.
I can only imagine, and that would be such a monumental moment in anyone's life to know that they've impacted them so much so that they pick up another human being and squeeze them so hard like that. I can't imagine another scenario where that would be necessary.
Well, I was only 170 pounds after my rookie year anyway. I just got drafted, so I was small.
That's amazing, and again, just. It's almost shocking when it's hard for me to even comprehend all of that, as I can barely imagine buying a home for myself, let alone someone else. So it's just so it's such an amazing feat. Going back to your rookie year, was there a moment that when once you start to kind of build out what you wanted to do, was there a moment where other athletes started to kind of either pitch in or they had their own perspectives? Could there have ever been a charity moment where you had with someone else? Was there anything like that happen during your rookie year?
I would say during my rookie year, nothing like that transpired. I don't think people really understood what I was doing. We were just trying to build relationships. I had a partnership with a mom and pop furniture store who helped me with the furniture that first year. And like I said, I wrote the check out of my own pocket. I just wrote the check, gave the money, said, here, I just need to help these 3 families. And I don't think guys really understood what I was doing, because I can tell you, I didn't understand. Right? I had no idea. And even though, and I just thought is that I bought my first home when I was 18 years old. I took the life insurance policy of my mom's life. I took that money, and that's how I purchased our first home. And I purchased mine when I was 18 years old. So, I don't think the guys really understood that. They were really more about enjoying life, right? And like I said, I went to guys like Derek Brooks and Hardy Nickerson, and Hardy was someone that I tried, hey, how can I be the best pro? What did you do? How did you maintain your body? I was more focused on trying to learn the intricacies of being the best professional, and not necessarily focused on what I was doing on the field. Off the field, because off the field, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just doing a program. Didn't really understand the impact of it. It took me years later to figure that out. So I just wanted to make sure that I can be the best pro that I can be, and I got guidance from veterans.
Yeah, I mean, what's really coming through to me is that you are one of the best listeners I've ever heard. When people talk and you respect them, you not only listen, but you end up doing that into the impossible degree. So that's a very rare quality that lots of folks would benefit from, including myself. If you ask my
Well, my friends would tell you that I like to learn things. I'm always trying to learn something. I got my master's at Emory because I just wanted to earn the respect of my partners when I became a partner with the Atlanta Falcons. I just wanted to get their respect. So I feel like I need to go to business school to do that. And I did that. I had I just do things sometimes, right? So I'm all about listening and learning and just trying to be better.
Okay. I got one last question before we wrap things up. As someone who's been was in the league for quite a bit of time, played for 2 teams, actually 3 teams.
Two.
Is it 2? Okay, all right. Do you have a favorite team? Did you grow up from Louisiana loving the Saints or someone else? And who do you root for these days?
Well, when I was growing up, I was a Dallas Cowboys fan because of Tony Dorsett. That was my man. That was my idol, right? But you got to think about it. We didn't have cable back then, so that's what came on. And the Saints were so bad that they were blacked out, right? I was down the street, so they were blacked out. We couldn't watch them. But I was a fan of Dalton Hilliard, but Tony Dorsett was my idol growing up. And today, I did root for the Bucks, when they were in the Super Bowl because they played, and of course I want the best for the organization. But because my money is invested in the Falcons, I'm going to root for the Falcons. I mean, that's a business decision right there. So
that's a smart answer, and there's a lot of very good people that work for the Falcons that I remember from my time in the league myself. And so I wish you nothing but the best of luck with the Falcons for sure, because it's a great organization.
thank you.
Warrick, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm very, very much a huge fan of yours, and thank you for the example that you've given, not only myself, but millions of other people. Continue doing God's work, and we will continue to follow you. Thank you so much.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate it and enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolutely.